Hey, Alex.
Hi, John.
You know what I hate?
I do not know what you hate.
The Dark Tower.
Gunslinger ride on, gunslinger ride on.
Gunslinger, gunslinger, where do you ride? What do you fight for today? When folks need a hand, you're on their side. Gunslinger, ride away.
Huh, I actually really enjoyed it.
That is wrong.
No, that's my opinion, and it's beautiful, like a delicate sunflower.
No, it's bad.
Huh.
Like a sunflower that's also racist.
Well, you know, is the sunflower making America a certain way again?
No, the sunflower is just racist.
Ah,
It's
yeah.
not active in any capacity. It's a sunflower, Alex.
Well, have you heard of Van Gogh?
No, surprisingly, no, I haven't.
What about Van Gogh?
Well, his earlier stuff, sure.
Yeah, like sunflowers?
The Dark Tower. Now, I'm going to preface this and say I'm going to try to do my best to just give it a fair review, being the movie that it is. I read the books when I was a kid, and then the 12 years later when he picked it back up. I read them all. And so I'm going to try very much to not do the, well, in the books, because there's a lot of that that's just they tossed out the window. That being said, the later books, which is what this draws heavily from, are awful. So,
Well, I gave up. To give backstory here, I read up to the Tower in Glass or whatever.
The Wizard in Glass.
The one before the Wolves of Calabasas or whatever.
The Wolves of Kala.
And I liked them, but I forgot a lot of it. So I'm actually very much coming from this to this with that kind of purely, I'm just watching this as a movie, because I remember it's bits and pieces, but certainly not enough.
Sure, because like I said, this cribs heavily from the later books, and the early books, particularly The Gunslinger, the first Dark Tower book, like just builds this huge world that I think this movie fails to do in any kind of interesting way. And so I'm just trying to sort of set that aside, because to me, there's a certain amount of this movie to me that is the Super Mario Brothers, the movie Super Mario Brothers, and it's just like,
So great.
this is your adaptation. This is what you chose to do with all this stuff. Okay,
Bob Hoskins' greatest movie.
sure.
John Leguizamo at the height of his acting prowess.
As he would tell you, as both would tell you.
Yes.
Although Stephen King apparently a fan. Stephen King gave this the thumbs up.
The Super Mario movie?
Yes, the Super Mario movie, which is funny because he's more of a Sonic guy.
Yeah.
But no, apparently he gave it a thumbs up. But yeah, to me, it's like you adapted it in this very stupid way. I can see why. As we get into it, we can talk about it, but I can see why they did this. They just turned it into this not that it was this heady, really difficult thing anyway, but they made it this very like YA, young adult, very easily accessible thing. Which it felt like a lot of movies I had seen before, rather than being like, oh, you're starting to try to create this world and make a whole but make a whole series out of this thing.
I'm surprised Stephen King liked this, because it's not very close to the source material, and it really, it chops the shit out of the original books. And I thought they did a good job, not necessarily representing what was in the books, but making I thought they made a good hour and a half movie that, probably has very little to do with the books, but I enjoyed the shit out of that hour and a half. Like, I really liked it. Really liked it. I came into it thinking this is going to be a steaming pile of shit, and I went, I like that. Like, I'm not looking forward to watching it again, but I'll totally watch it again if it's like on some, just if it's on a TV in front of me, you're like, oh shit, I like this movie.
This movie is vanilla frozen yogurt from TCBY. It's like, it's okay. But it's very just bland and just, there's nothing special.
I'd go a little farther. I'd actually say there's some sprinkles up on that bitch.
No,
I'd go so far as say rainbow sprinkles.
That is too generous.
Rainbow sprinkles
half.
With some accidental Reese's Pieces mixed in because they fell in from the box next to it when they were making their whatever the frozen yogurt version of a Blizzard is. I
am fascinated to see or to hear anyway how you're going to justify that. What? Basically.
Oh, well, I used to work at a Dairy Queen, and not the Blizzard thing.
Not the actual consumption of food, but the how this movie is.
Because I would have a lot easier time justifying that. Okay, no, I'll put it this way. Idris Elba is I haven't really done this in a little bit, but like, oh boy, is that man smolderingly attractive.
Sure.
Super charismatic. I love McConaughey in it. Not that he did like a great acting job, but like he played that role exactly the way it needed to be, just over the top. Like he's 2 shades away from going, God is an absent landlord.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because I think he kind of sleepwalked his way through the role, but I think that also helped. So I don't like. It sounds like you're like. I don't think he was big at all.
No, I don't.
But I think his sort of sleepiness worked for it.
No, but that's what I meant. He went super kind of snake slithery, like
his evil was effortless.
If he went, I'm also a snake out of nowhere. I'd be like, yep, totally a snake. like
as characters often do.
You'd be surprised how often. You ever read that Bible? That shit's everywhere.
That's
I mean,
true.
I only read the first book, but I'm
I haven't
sure it
read
continues
that.
on.
I've read a Bible, but not that Bible.
I'm sure the sequels, that snake just keeps showing back up and just foiling Jesus' plans left and right.
Bible 3, I've heard, it picks back up really good.
I like McConaughey in it because I just thought he kind of just, I don't know, I thought he did that kind of sleazy devil thing quite well, and that kid had no right to be as good as he was, and I thought he was totally liked him. His mom, very hot, which really helped me get into this movie. Ooh, his mom's hot, because I was really expecting this movie to be dog shit. And I went, hey, at least I got to see a pretty lady,
which is good because no attractive people are ever in bad movies. So that's
but we have historically watched movies that are so bad that even attractive people stop being
it eclipses.
Like that Cara Delevingne lady, like she's very attractive, but like you couldn't really see it in that movie because it's just because it was in Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets, so it's not like, oh yeah, I forgot attractive lady is in this.
Fair enough.
I also liked how they set up the world building for how quickly they did it. I thought they did I very much hesitate to use the term elegant, but they did an elegant job to build a rather complicated world structure in a very short amount of time. Like, they got a lot across for an hour and a half. Like, they got a multiverse concept, good and evil. They've got the worlds overlapping, there being a negative space outside that's trying to invade in. Like, there was a lot of shit that they crammed in, and it didn't feel like it was exposition heavy, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah, because there's nothing there. Because that's, like, what you just said is exactly it. There's a world out there that's trying to destroy them. There's another universe. That's it. That's not to me. That's not world building. That's just a concept being thrown.
Well, that's fine, but many other movies would spend 23 minutes explaining every nuance of that and just slogging. Maybe my favorite thing about this movie is that it's an hour and a half, and by all rights, it should be 240, and the rest of that time is long conversations about the nature of the world, and then like lingering shots of them walking.
Right. Well, that was
So
this film has had an interesting past in that people have been trying to make this.
Prove it. Oh yeah, you like it when I throw that back at you?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Because I have something ready to prove it. So this film has had an interesting past where it's been. Like J.J. Abrams had originally optioned the material, J. Abrams. Then they were talking about making a combination of like films and TV shows, which according to IMDb, like the dude who directed this is still listed as doing the TV show.
The TV show I think is still in.
It's still happening?
Yeah,
because this movie did not do well.
I don't think it's like in like official pre-production, but I think it's still like in whatever that still in development but not moving forward kind of stage.
Well, so anyway, this ended up being made as a joint venture, basically between like Sony Pictures and MRC, the Media Rights Capital, and they tapped this guy Nicolas Arcel, if I'm saying that at all correctly.
I'm sure you
who did the exactly. Oscar-nominated Danish movie A Royal Affair. So why would you not hire him to do an action movie? He's written a bunch of stuff. He did wrote the Danish version of. The film adaptation of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoos. They're like, oh, great, he knows how to adapt books.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Ugh.
So there was all this behind the scenes stuff where their studio's trying to take control, and then they had this weird deal where because there was so much money put into this, I guess, if one studio was like, I don't like this trailer, I don't like this, they had the rights to just kill it. And like,
really?
So it's been like, that's a mess. But also, if you look at the movie, there are at least four writers on it, including Akiva Goldsman, who won an Oscar for A Beautiful Mind, but is also responsible for I Am Legend, The Da Vinci Code, and Batman and Robin.
Wow.
He also directed and wrote this very bizarre movie called A Winter's Tale that features Will Smith as Satan. But this guy writes really just bland nonsense. And I kind of feel like there might have been something there that he kind of went, well, no, let's just do kind of screenwriting 101 and shove this out there. Because that's what it felt like. This felt like a movie I'd seen a billion times. And just this kind of like, oh, I'm a kid and I have this hero that I like. And then this hero gets drug into the real world. And isn't that kind of weird? Or I go to the hero's world.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing that's been done. It reminded me of the Masters of the Universe movie with Dolph Lundgren in that regard. I don't know why I picked that one out, but I think just because I was disappointed.
But that one you played a key to change universes. This one you typed in the key into a keyboard that's on on the portal, not a musical instrument.
Yeah,
it's completely different. Yeah. Okay, see, I think what you're missing here with my argument is I was expecting this to be fucking horrible.
Oh, no, I mean,
it being a boilerplate action movie was two full letter grades better than I was expecting. So I'm very much coming into this as like everything above a D+ is fucking, everything's coming up Millhouse. And in this scenario, the A man is Millhouse.
See, because this to me is like I had mentioned, like I really hated Bright and thought it was just sort of insipid. This is an airplane novel. This is something you get in the checkout line of a grocery store. Like, it killed some time.
Yeah.
It was not very good, but it killed some time.
All right.
I'm not angry at it, other than coming at it from like in the books, but it was just there.
Well, let's do a couple of plot points here, because there's not a lot of them. Again, very breezy.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
There is nothing of substance in this movie.
I mean, basically, little kid named Jake.
Jake Chambers.
He is a dreamer. He's an artist.
Mm-hmm.
He's a kid that isn't afraid to punch other kids across the face for reasons.
Yeah, that's right.
So he's kind of, we're to think, if we're coming into this cold, that he's either got emotional issues and are using drawings to kind of represent that, or he's got a secret insight to another world. Now, considering it's a movie, of course it's a secret insight into another world, but
this is how I've justified my mental illness for years.
Yes, but your drawings are beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, I've never seen an areola so perfect.
It's how Hank Hill looks.
There are earthquakes happening in New York, and this kid is I don't know so he thinks it's related to the other world. Is that the deal?
Basically, he has these visions.
Now that I think about it, this actually probably didn't make much sense.
Yeah. Well, he has these visions of these children being like this weird community where children are kind of farmed and being strapped into this. Matthew McConaughey and some people are strapping them into this chair and using their brains to fire lasers into the sky.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and all the adults in this world are clearly wearing like flesh masks. They have these weird separations around like the neck and around behind the ears, where it looks like the mask comes together, and that's how you can tell there's something else going on.
Yeah. Let's just stop here, because now that I think about it, I think going through this movie A to B is going to be a little difficult.
Oh yeah,
what the hell were those things? Because now that I think about it, I have no idea.
They're bad.
No,
that's all.
Were they in the books?
Possibly. I mean, because some of the stuff was, because the kids are basically these things called breakers, which were used to, they tried to use to attack the beams that were holding the tower up. Although the man in black was not that interested in destroying the tower, he wanted to get into the tower. Roland was not interested in protecting the tower. He wanted to get to the tower. The only person that wanted to kill the tower was the Crimson King, who's barely even mentioned in this movie. And it's because it's concepts and ideas larger than this movie wanted to portray. Like,
well, the Crimson King was on graffiti.
He was on graffiti. So if this movie was supposed to be setting up a series, a verse, if you will.
Yeah.
And I will. It really didn't do a great job of that. Because it feels like everything's kind of taken care of, because there's no indication that there's anyone above Matthew McConaughey. Is Matthew McConaughey the Crimson King? Maybe. I don't know. He just is wearing black. That's all we know about the guy. Yeah, and he's in charge.
Okay, so we don't know what the weird rat things are that wear the human suits.
Yeah, and
They're
there's
just
not really
bad.
questions left afterward. Everything kind of seems wrapped up.
Yeah, I didn't think this was setting up for a franchise.
Yeah. No, I would agree.
It didn't. So, and not really thinking about it that way. That's, I think, another reason I was pleased with it is that, yeah, it was just a movie. Like,
Which is fascinating that it is that way, because you think with this, here's this property that you could, particularly if there was an idea of like making TV shows or whatever, that you can expand on and do things with. It's interesting that they went the other way and they just went, no, let's just crap this out and be done with it.
Yeah, it was a strange choice. So we're following the little kid Jake, who sees the rats in skin suits. He sees them, and then his parents are worried about him, or his mom and his stepdad, which, again, a dynamic that we don't really need.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what. One, I don't know why I said again there, but two, why does it need to be a stepdad?
Because I think the movie decided he needs to have, he needs to be like the gunslinger, and that they both have a father figure that they've lost.
Oh,
But he also needs a father figure to be like someone in the human realm, to be like, no, screw this kid. And his mom be like, no, I really love him. So when later bad things happen, it's not just...
Yeah, you're 100% right. I didn't think about that. Yeah,
like I said,
to make
it's
him
just
Roland.
like screenwriting 101 shit.
Yeah.
Save
Well,
the cat or whatever.
I didn't take screenwriting 101, John.
Neither did I. I can't write anything.
Oh, well, neither can I, John. Neither can I, except for the books, short stories.
No one likes books.
That are available on Amazon.com. You just search for Alexx Ball and Alex with 2 X's. Things progress that they're trying to send him off to a, boarding school, coom nut hut. Mm-hmm. And this kind of comes to a head when he starts seeing. So they send 2 people to pick up Jake from the boarding school coom nut hut, and Jill and Toby. I wrote that down because they're the best names that have ever happened in a movie ever.
Well, here's the thing. Again, it's minor, but I was already sort of non thrilled with this movie. But so. Hey, so we're going to take you to this school, this special school, and we're going to be taking care of... Here's your driver that you need to meet for some reason. You know what I mean? Like, why bring up the driver up to the house, like into the house? Like, this is a guy, this is your Uber driver.
Yeah.
Get to know him really well because you'll be seeing him for 2 minutes.
Well, Toby is a charmer, and kids love him.
That's true.
I mean, they just love hopping in the car and be like, Toby, this
he looks like the principal from Billy Madison.
He does.
Raw sex
creepy.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, let's not even talk about the lucha mask. So Toby and Jill show up at the house to pick up Jake, and what does Jake see? They both have little slits in their skin.
Yeah.
They're skin suit people. Mm-hmm. They're wearing a skin suit. Freaky.
Now, I think by this point we've already flashed to the other dimension. Like, it's been established that the other dimension is totally real.
Yeah, I was gonna pick that up after we. So essentially, they show up. He sees the skin suit thing, mm-hmm. and let's just pretend he's still running. There's a flash a little bit earlier to the other world where we see Idris Elba and his dad.
Yes, apparently that's supposed to be his dad. Which, yeah, well, in the books, but yes,
they're chanting that the Gunslinger Creed. Which I have in here somewhere, but I don't. They're chanting this. I do not aim with my hand. He who aims with his hand has forgotten the face of his father. I aim with my eye. I do not shoot with my hand. He who shoots with his hand has forgotten the face of his father. I shoot with my mind. I do not kill with my gun. He who kills with his gun has forgotten the face of his father. I kill with my heart. That makes no sense. I mean, it makes sense in I just need something that sounds vaguely spiritual to do.
Right.
But, I mean, if you really think about those statements, like, no, you don't. You shoot with your damn hand. Shut up. Put your fucking gun. It's not spiritual. You're a murderer. You're just murdering for a good cause.
Well, it sounds like someone's forgotten the face of their father.
Yeah, I kind of forget his name, too.
It's Troy.
Something with a J, I think.
No, that's lifted from the book.
Oh, that's fine. But I also think Stephen King kind of a shitty writer. So
I think he spins a good yarn. I think he tells a good story. He just can't end anything worth a damn.
No, yeah, you're probably right. I think it's the main thing I kind of hate about him.
Yeah. But
oh, sorry.
Yeah, but I think the role of the gunslinger is different in the books than it is in this movie. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, in the books, it's not like that. It's this. It's not like a Grammarton cleric or whatever, but it has this more like it's a position and like you have to go through this rites of manhood to get it. Whereas this, it just sounds like, no, we're just people that shoot people. Because it's really just dumbed down. And I don't want to ascribe like larger, higher principles to it than there are, but that sort of poem fit better in this kind of almost Arthurian sort of world.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's just like, you guys are just wearing old Civil War stuff and shooting at people.
But real quick aside, is he the descendant of Arthur Pendragon in the books?
Well, in the books, it's alluded to because the idea in this future, because they kind of mention it in the movie, that the world they live in, the world has moved on. So there is kind of reference. It might be Earth. It might be this sort of post-apocalyptic Earth because there's stuff there that might be that. But then it's different in all these other ways. So what's really going on? I don't know. The movie just goes like, no, this is made from Excalibur. This is one to one. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I hate mystery.
I did sort of like the kid going, yeah, it's an amusement park. No one knows what they're for. Yeah, it was an amusement park.
No, that was a fun little exchange. But I'm saying when Matthew McConaughey is just like, oh, BT dubs, that's Excalibur.
No, totally. All right, so back to him doing the chant with his dad. This is the part where I like the nonchalance of the Man in Black, Matthew McConaughey, where he goes, stop breathing. Yeah. No pause, no malice, just, yeah, you have to die now. I got to talk to your son, please die. I just enjoyed that. Like, just kind of the ruthless, like...
His sort of just complete relaxed about being evil. It's sort of like, did you see Jessica Jones?
I did.
With David Tennant in that.
Yes.
Like, when he wasn't being evil, he was just like, go eat sand or, whatever.
Yeah,
he was saying. Like, that was always way more terrifying than it was like, I'm going to just absolutely tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So I like that kind of calmness with it. I don't like the way he looks. He looks like a divorced dad who's back on the dating scene, who's dyed his hair. He was in a band in his 20s or something, and he's still walking around going like, do people still listen to Avenged Sevenfold or whatever?
This is something I have a problem with, and it relates to David Tennant slightly, more so Benedict Cumberbatch. Some people don't look good that tan. And McConaughey is one of them.
Yeah.
His face looks unhealthy.
Yes.
And he looks like, he looks like a divorced dad trying to be hip again.
Yeah.
Went to the tanning parlor, and his face just looks gross. Like, it's not like manly, leathered by the sun, old Western style. It just looks just unhealthy. Like, it's just got a pallor to it.
Yeah.
And it sticks out. Cumberbatch is like that. I liked him when he was pale, like first season Sherlock, but trying to get a tan on it, it's like that's not the way your skin's supposed to work. But I didn't like the way he looked in that way. But,
you just kind of expect him to, like, when he takes off his trench coat, that he's gonna have a whole bunch of like bracelets on, or maybe like go home and put on some distressed denim.
Yeah,
and be like, this is still cool, right?
Oh, I would love that as a cutscene. Just get back to the Man in Black's evil pad.
It's like, look, I'm gonna cut this short. I got a family court thing I gotta get to.
Yeah, he basically just says Mikado. He's playing naked bongos.
Yeah.
Also liked Roland trying to shoot him, and then Man in Black pulls the bullet from the air behind his back, catches it with his fingers.
And that comes into play later, and I like that, again, the sort of effortless, like McConaughey, my view of McConaughey sort of sleepwalking for this, actually served it well when he's just like casually plucking bullets out of the air. That was kind of cool. And I like that they bothered to set it up early, because this was a thing that I don't believe was in the books at all, but him like just casually just like, oh, I'm murdering you with words. I'm just going to say something. But the fact that he says something, because immediately I'm like, why doesn't he just do that to Roland? And then he's like, oh, my magics don't work on you. Okay, cool. Well, we've set that up. We're done with that. That's all we need to do. And yeah, that's fine. It's dumb, but that's fine. You set it up and logically it works.
Yeah. So that's the other world. Back to Jake running away. He finds an abandoned house that's somehow in downtown Manhattan, which is, I like hate movies sometimes.
A townhouse.
Yeah, and he was in like fucking downtown Manhattan, like early, like where the fuck? Anyway, so he oh wait, no, sorry, we missed my favorite point ever. He had sketched this house, and he goes online to look. He posted on like whereisthis.com or something, like a Reddit find it thing. And he says, where is this house? And the first response is up your butt.
Yes.
Which I've never seen a more realistic portrayal of the internet.
Like to remind you again, 4 writers. Yeah. 4 writers on this movie.
No, I'm not being sarcastic.
Yeah.
I love that was on there because any other film would have just, had like a plot point, said, because eventually it's Dutch Hill. No, the first response is up your butt. That really made me happy.
Was it up like you are?
Capital U, capital R, butt.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
My opinion on this movie has changed.
I actually thought I would have thought you picked up on that.
No, I was my head was in my hands or something.
Yeah. So he goes to the abandoned farmhouse in the middle of downtown Manhattan, which is I don't know if you've been to Manhattan, but the place is lousy with abandoned farmhouses. On the outside is spray painted all hair like Crimson King. Then he finds the computer terminal in the thing. Small aside, he also has his bag there, which he dropped his bag when he was running away, so he shouldn't have it.
Yeah.
Don't care. Is that in the books? The kind of technological portals?
Maybe in the later ones. I'm not entirely sure. So basically in the original Gunslinger, Roland is all you know about Roland is he's chasing the Man in Black. And he goes and has this misadventure in this town, Tull, and he ends up like killing everyone.
That's the thing I remember, and I remember the later books where we meet the kid in.
Well, no,
Manhattan.
the kid because the kid shows up in the first book.
Oh, is that the first
and
book?
Basically, Roland lets him die. They're crossing like underneath this mountain, and Roland's in this situation where he's holding Jake, and like Jake's falling off something. He's holding him, and he can either let Jake go and save himself, or like try to save Jake, and he's like drops Jake. Later, Jake comes back. Because there's this weird... that's when the books really start getting weird. Because I think it's in the Drawing of the Three, which is the second one, where Jake has this misadventure and goes to this like demon house. Because he's in New York, but he can't help but feel that something's weird. So they kind of took that aspect of it. And instead of making the Gunslinger the main character, they made Jake the main character.
Yeah.
Which is what I say what I mean when I say that they kind of made it this like young adult novel. They went like, no, we can't possibly relate to this otherworldly... possibly amoral guy on a quest. No. It's got to be a teenager. Because that's who we went to see this movie. And then he gets like, by going to this house, like there's like a demon in this house, much like we kind of see.
Yeah.
I don't remember there being a like beep boop boop portal, but something happens that he ends up getting back into
My memory
Gilead.
of it is that there's doors, like literal like doors on a beach.
Well, Roland finds these doors on a beach, and like there's a way where he can kind of see what's going on. I don't really remember, but yeah, that's more interesting and weird than just.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I can dial up Idris Elba.
Yeah, I made a note saying I don't like the mechanical aspect. I just thought that was annoying.
It is. It's this weird. It's almost like. Let me see if I can try to work this into a cogent point.
You know, I think I got this for you. That would work better on X-Men the Animated Series.
Sure.
Now imagine one of the characters are, we got to go to World 2. Beep, boop, boop. Jumping through,
Well, it's almost like the...
That was the weirdest thing I've ever said.
No,
Sorry.
but you nailed the theme song.
So fucking strange.
No, that works. Okay, yeah, because your point's way better than what I was trying to get at. So yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, it's this weird like here's a world of magic, but we need computers.
Yeah,
and it's not like you can't have that. But if Matthew McConaughey can just kill with a word, why does he need to dial up? It feels incongruous. Not that he should just be like portal open and he can just dive into a portal, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one spot I didn't really like, but again, it's such efficient storytelling that them trying to set up the magic would, I don't know.
But this brings me to an interesting point. The people that work at this place.
Yeah.
So it's established that they're wearing the skin suits because there's one guy that doesn't, and later Matthew McConaughey's like, "Oh, hey, rat face, get out of here."
Yeah, he's like, put on your clothes when you're in my house.
But there's just like a dude that looks like he's on the Big Bang Theory working there.
Oh yeah.
And it's just, what is that? And then there's the attractive young lady that he makes a point to notice that she's attractive. Why is any of that there? Why do they need to look human other than that he's just like, I like it when you look human?
I think that's really the point.
Yeah. And that's like, hey, we need to save on makeup budget, everyone. Why didn't you just say that?
Yeah, okay, that's the point. But in the world of the movie is the point. And
again, like, because as soon as the later books came out, I don't remember them very well. That might have been a thing in some of the later books where
Yeah, I
they're
didn't.
like, no, and they're wearing human faces. But spoiler alert: the Man in Black is long dead by those books.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. He's like a different character, but him as Walter O'Dim is essentially dead.
That was the one from this. The last name was different, I think.
Yeah. Because he's at the end of the Wizard in Glass. Like he's basically the bad guy from The Stand. He's that character, Randall Flagg. Like he's all these characters. Like so, he's just done a bunch of stuff. So he's around basically. But
now let me say the best thing I'm ever going to say on the show. In research for the show, I was trying to find some slash fiction where the gunslinger fucks the Man in Black. In the slash fiction, they refer to him as Flagg.
Yes.
And I was confused, and that answered it.
That's why, yeah,
Okay.
Randall Flagg.
Also, you're welcome, audience. I'm not reading slash fiction on this episode.
I like how that's what confused you. Like, that's not his name, but the rest of this tracks perfectly.
Well, considering the amount of Harry Potter slash fiction I've read in my life, I'm familiar with the art. In this one, I just didn't know enough backstory. Yeah, I mean, the amount of Pokeballs I've seen go up somebody's ass. Again, I wish I
read
hadn't
Alex's
said that.
books, everybody.
Yeah. Oh boy, editing. All right, so little kid ends up in Midworld. We see the Dark Tower, or not the Dark Tower, but his lair, the Man in Black's lair, which I love the design of. It's kind of like a Aztec-y kind of pyramid thing with like a plateau on top.
Sure.
Just
like
love that.
like the Tyrell building.
I thought that was
from Blade Runner.
Yeah, I thought that was a pyramid.
It's got a flat top.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, exactly like that. And I think it might be reference to that because the beginning of the movie had like a turtle constellation thing, and I thought that was a Blade Runner reference. I don't know why that just popped in my head.
No, that's a reference. There are all these Stephen King references peppered throughout the movie.
Yeah.
That when I was like looking up stuff about this movie, it talked about how like he's playing with a car that's like a toy car that's the car from Christine.
Oh, okay.
The book, one of Misery books, the movie Misery, one of the books the author in that book wrote. You can like Misery's Child or something like that. You can see that book. There's all these like little tiny references to all these different Stephen King books, rather than be a good movie.
You can see a bunch of little kids having an orgy next to a clown.
Well, the twins at the beginning. There's
twins at the beginning.
Yeah, they're saying like they're playing like patty cake in the very opening scene where it's the weird little like fake neighborhood.
Yeah.
There's a reference to that being or there in the article I was reading, it was saying that was a reference to the twins of The Shining, which was kind of a reach, but fine, whatever.
Well, The Shining did invent twins. They
That's
actually
true.
didn't exist before that book. Yeah. We basically set up that Jake's wandering around in Midworld through a desert. We cut back to the Man in Black goes to New York, and he talks to like the Duke of New York, A#1.
Yes, which I need to look that up. Is that the dude? Is that the guy that played Rorschach?
It is Jackie Earle Haley.
Yeah.
Why the hell did I know his name? That was weird.
It was a good pull. But I was just because I couldn't tell because he's a little bit like fuller face than I've seen him in the past. And why is he that guy? You know what I mean? Like he's a better actor than to just do that.
He shows up in weird shit. He was in Preacher.
He was great in Preacher.
Yeah.
But he was like a main character in that. This is just he's just a throwaway guy.
He smells Jake's blood that
He
they got off
smells all right.
That he got off the floor of the abandoned farmhouse in Dead Center, Manhattan, and he smells it. And he goes, "This is pure shine." And I went, "Oh God, you're bringing the fucking shine into this."
Yeah. Fuck you, movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I don't remember if that was. I don't believe that was directly referenced in the books, but yeah, I don't. That felt kind of ballsy. I know it's a Stephen King property and all, but just in terms of being a movie, don't reference The Shining when you're not The Shining at all.
Yeah, I didn't like that very much. I know Stephen King decided later that all of his books are connected, and he's trying to like kind of force.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons that I hated the later books is that. So he wrote these books, and I started reading them when I was like 12 or something like that, and then I don't remember when he wrote the fourth one, but then sometime after that he got hit by a van and almost died, and then eventually got back to writing and finished these books that he wrote himself into. And then like there was already stuff around that was kind of connected to the Dark Tower or something like that, but he wrote himself into the books, and they just get increasingly worse, to the point that he was going to go back and rewrite a bunch of them, but then he kind of rewrote and kind of retconned some stuff in the first one, and then went, I don't know how much I can change, which translates to, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
I am Stephen King, and I am old and tired.
I forgot he wrote himself into it.
Yeah, it's so bad.
That makes me sad.
It's really, really bad.
Yeah. Well, Stephen King sucks. Let's reiterate
I'm not
that.
going that far. I have fun reading his books.
So anyway,
Or I did, anyway.
we find out that pure shine can destroy a demon.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We cut back to the cool world that I actually like looking at stuff. Midworld. That's
Cool world.
yeah, with
Kim Basinger?
Yeah, Brad Pitt. Yeah. No, with Midworld, and I more read the cool world because I'm really like, oh great, more Manhattan. Like
Yeah.
we've invented a magical fantasy land with
New
interesting
York.
things.
Wow.
But
Imagine a big city.
they've Roland and Jake have met, and you know. He's like, yeah, I'd seen you in my dreams, and he's like, I'll hang you off a cliff, and yay, let's be friends now. You know, it's the standard boilerplate.
Whenever you meet a person, you
guy.
say that. I actually had a canvasser tell me that once. Like someone trying to get signatures was like, hey, I saw you in my dream last night.
Are you serious? Someone said
Yeah,
that to you?
yeah.
Oh,
and I was
that's
like,
creepy.
that is the worst thing to say to someone. And I
Yeah.
just walked by. Like
Yeah, that's super awkward.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
what- yeah. Or you just missed out on your young adult fantasy novel quest beginning.
I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah, you denied the quest. That's
Yes,
Joseph Campbell 101, man. You missed it
Yes.
out. They walk through Rusty Swing Set Land, which I thought looked really cool. And Roland, this is one of the few kind of explicit exposition things, draws the map of the world, where he goes, the tower's at the middle, and these are the other world, and their things. And that's where the really fun, like, no one knows what the old structures are. And he's like, no, it's an old amusement park. Which,
Right.
Again, really, I just love the nonchalant, like, that's an amusement park. And him kind of being annoyed, where it's like, no, I know damn well what this is. Like, this is, there's no fucking hidden mystery to this.
Did you notice there was a big Pennywise sign?
Oh, no. What's that?
Yep.
God, I hate that band.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. That's who Matthew McConaughey was hoping to go see.
Oh yeah, so he explains that the earthquakes that are happening is because they're basically killing these kids and like shoving their psychic energy into a cannon to try to take down the Dark Tower.
Right.
Now, in this is different from the books, I guess. That if they take down the tower, then the kind of demon world is allowed to invade the world that the Man in Black is in. Is kind of the concept they're drawing.
Basically, like my understanding, and what I kind of recall from the books, is that the Crimson King wants to destroy the tower, which will in effect destroy existence, and then he believes he's powerful enough that he can rewrite existence in his own image. Whereas this is just like, no, there's just this out here. There be dragons, and there's some energy field being put out by the Dark Tower that keeps it out, and then if that falls, badness will enter this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, okay.
Yeah, the only thing I have a problem with that, I mean, many things actually, but just titularly, generally, the thing that's great and keeping good happening, you don't really call it the Dark Tower.
Yeah.
That tends to be the bad thing.
Should be called the Tower of Dark Keeping Away.
Or just,
Fun.
or just the tower. Like, generally, like, you don't need to put
Yeah.
the dark in front of it, because that's generally reference to the bad things. Like, you just say the tower.
Well, but this is, this world has moved on. They don't know that.
Yeah.
They don't know storytelling conventions.
Yeah, but the movie could. So
Yeah,
let's just
but it needs that name recognition.
Yeah, that's fair enough. While he's sleeping, Jake kind of gets attacked by a demon.
Yeah, which was great, because I love action scenes where you can't see what's going on because it's too dark. That was very exciting. And you
Yeah.
had this monster that someone spent time building that you couldn't bother to light at all. That was good.
Okay, that's fine. I accept your criticism. However, we got to see Roland reload like a fucking badass.
No, those were, yeah.
And boy, I can't get enough. And I'm not even kidding. Like, him doing the single, like his thumb flicking one bullet into each chamber as it spins.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking great. Like, I just could watch this all day.
I enjoyed that a lot more than his later things where he's just like catching entire round.
Really like that too.
Yeah.
To tell the truth, yeah.
But it reminded me a bit of this criticism I had of V for Vendetta, which was the movie version of V for Vendetta,
Yeah.
where it's like, well, here's this comic that is full of all these sort of ideas and concepts. How do we present that in a movie? I know, slow motion knife throwing. And that's kind of what it felt, where it's like, well, we could just like, we have this world building where it's this kind of world that moved on, and there's some elements of Arthurian legend, but there's also some Western stuff. Oh, I got it. He's really good at shooting guns and can load really good. I heard you say that, and then I stopped listening after that. Cool. Let's just do
that is from the book.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Like, there's elements of that, but they just went. I felt like the movie went, well, that should be just the core conceit of this character.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Not about his obsessive quest or how that obsessiveness can change a person. No. He's just a good guy that shoots guns really cool and can block bullets with guns, which is not at all stupid.
Yeah, we'll get to some of the stupider stuff later, because there's a sequence of them. Let's hold that back, because I think that we'll never get back from that tangent.
Yeah.
This is the other part would maybe love the Man in Black. Goes to Jake's house, walks up to his stepdad, and he's like, "Stop breathing." Yeah. Kills him and killed instant. No, like big build up. That's a character that got established. We know that guy.
Yeah, like, but you also don't like him. You also like, he's. Yeah,
but he wasn't like a horrible dude. He was just kind of like he's a dick. He's not deserves murder. Which it's. I'm not saying ballsy filmmaking, but like that's a braver choice than you would think from this film. PG-13. They didn't like if he had hit Jake in the first scene instead of just. Hey, it's kind of a dick. Like, like...
Yeah, but I guess, I mean, I see what you're saying. I just don't agree that it needed to go that far. It was just established, like, he's this guy, he has no real connection. He's the bad guy in Jake's real life that wants to push Jake away. Jake wants to stay with his mom. And so you kind of just like, I don't really like you. Jake doesn't like him. And so when he gets dispatched, it's like, oh well.
Yeah, I didn't really take it so much. I mean, you're right in the way he's built, but like, if he's going to be murdered later, the storytelling I would expect out of a film of this caliber would to have Jake have gotten a backhand from him early in the film, so it's not as like, oh wow, he just got.
I am surprised. Yeah. I am surprised they got rid of the mom. That was a little bit more surprising.
So then, he basically tortures the mom, reads her mind, sees Jake's drawings, and he's like gunslinger, and he realizes that Roland is part of this whole thing.
Keystone Earth.
Yeah. Again, didn't really like that, but I think it's just because Keystone's a beer brand, and that kept throwing me off.
Sure. That makes sense. I'm following that. Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know why. I didn't get it. I didn't understand why it was called Keystone Earth. I don't understand why it was just a... I don't think they established that very well.
Well, I thought the idea was... No, that doesn't.
Because the Dark Tower,
I don't know.
The Dark Tower's in that world.
Yeah,
they need to destroy that thing in that world, or some other world where it exists to let evil in. The hell does Earth have to do with anything?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Because it's not like this. It's this hub. It doesn't sound like anyway. It's this hub where other things are happening because all you know is that it leads to this world. That's it.
Yeah, and why invent a new character where he could have just been Orko that brought the key over? Oh,
yes,
sorry.
Thank you.
Masters of the Universe again.
Well, because you can't float. Like that's.
Oh,
we're gonna do
yeah.
Orko walk
budget.
around.
I mean, don't even get me started with these budget guys at the back.
Yeah, and like no real characters coming over from the cartoon.
Well, Evil Lyn was there. Skeletor.
But none of the... I mean, Beastman wasn't really there. Kind of.
Don't even get me started on the loss of Mossman.
Yes. Or Stinkor.
Or, what was do you remember the Cobra guy that you pushed the button on his back and his neck jumped out?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know his name, but he was the best.
No. Like Raptor? Or,
yeah, sure. Why not?
There was the other guy where he pushed on his head and he was like a water gun action figure. Yeah. Back to Masters of the Universe. None of this happened in Dark Tower.
Yeah, well...
If you press on Matthew McConaughey's head, he will spit.
So during that, back to Midworld, Roland got stabbed by one of the demons. He's getting poisoned. He brings Jake to the village to see a seer to figure out what all of his visions mean. She's like, hey, you're super poisoned.
You've got the shinin.
Yeah, you should, hang out and rest. And he's like, no, I can't rest. And so there's the big thing. That's the big setup, because he's going to be less than healthy in the final battle, except they don't do that. Now that I think about it, this movie sucked.
Yeah, so they just camp out here, and he's like, oh, yeah, no, you've got the Shining. You've got a really strong Shining. What you've seen is bad. You should stop it.
Yeah, no, so she sees his visions and says where Man in Black's Aztec temple is. Is what is the concept. They talk about portals. They eat dinner, and they say he is Roland of Gilead, last of the line of Eld. The Man in Black has his soul in his pocket, and his heart is consumed by vengeance. He is not a gunslinger. Not anymore. Really? Because he actually seems like he's actually being really nice to this rando kid that he met that drank all of his water when they first met. Like, really? His heart's... I mean, I guess his heart's consumed by vengeance, sure, but, like, he's doing a pretty good job of it anyway. Like, I mean,
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, his job was to protect the Dark Tower from the Man in Black, and then the Man in Black killed his dad. He's still doing his job. Nothing about his, nothing's changed, really. He's just, like, I didn't even realize that was his dad until the end of the movie. When, like, he appears as an enchantment, a charm. And he's like, oh, that was supposed to be his dad? I thought he was just, like, a fellow gunslinger. I guess I missed that point.
The village gets attacked. The Man in Black watches via hologram. The Roland fights back with the guns forged from Arthur Eld's sword, Excalibur. They fight. Roland feels sick. And then he does that thing from the trailer where he listens to Jake getting kidnapped.
Yep.
And shoots through a bunch of stuff and kills that guy running away with him.
Yeah.
Which I kind of liked, but I didn't care about this scene because it was just like, this was one of the scenes where the movie dragged for me. It was just like, oh, great, another fight scene. Because that demon thing did nothing to the plot. It was just like, we needed a few minutes to kill.
Yeah.
Which there's enough here. Like, there's 8 books or whatever. Like, you've got plenty to draw from. You don't need to waste time with dumb fight scenes.
Yeah. And again, slow motion knife throwing. It's like, well, we need him to do something cool.
That's true. Where are they supposed to be, by the way, in this village? They said, like, I saw a terminal sign in the background, but was that New York, some kind of New York airport? Did you pick up on that?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay, I saw there was a terminal sign in the back. I wasn't sure if they were trying to... I was trying to figure out that amusement park earlier, if they were on, like, Coney Island or something, because they were in New York earlier, if this is supposed to be future New York.
Yeah. I mean, because they go to a bunch of different weird little towns in the books. But I don't know if that was supposed to be a reference to one of them or whatever.
So he saves Jake, yay, and they port on New York. The Man in Black is like, grr, I'm mad, and he kills the pretty lady, which, that happened. And
right, which, it's... Like, they didn't do any... Like, his power was like, well, I'm just going to say a word and kill you. And when that's all you do, it kind of becomes less impressive. It's still, like, neat in a scary power, but it's just like, okay, well, this person's dead. Okay, you killed him. Great, let's move on. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no tension when you can just do that to anybody.
Yeah, I just didn't like it because it's a pretty lady. He, made a point of complimenting her before. I mean, come on, man. That's bad management strategy.
He does not care.
And they bring Roland to the hospital. And this is the scene that I thought of you, because I couldn't tell if you'd be infuriated by this or not, where they start listing the diseases he has.
Uh-huh.
How'd you feel about that?
Well, I was already kind of confused about, like, how he wouldn't have any sort of, like, record of anything ever being, he would have no medical records of any kind.
Yeah.
That they're cool with. They have no problems with that.
Yeah.
They don't seem at all concerned.
Well, I mean, it looks like he showed up with, like, signs of, like, sepsis and blood poisoning. I'm pretty sure they would just start treating you before getting
No, I know. But I don't know. Like, it doesn't really matter. But
So you're concerned with, like, they obey, like, proper, like, HIPAA.
I wanted to see the bureaucracy at work. No, I don't know. I didn't really think much of it. I just went like, oh, yeah, no, he probably does have a lot of diseases living in the wilds.
That stuck out to me as thinking, like, yeah, you're going to hate the shit out of this, but... My mistake. Yeah. Apparently, I don't know my little lovey scrumptions as well as I thought I did.
I mean, I already did.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was just like, yeah, okay.
Man in Black drinks some Coke, and he likes it. Mm-hmm. Which that's actually the thing in this movie which I thought was like the least.
Wait, the Man in Black or the?
Oh yeah, sorry, Roland. Yeah. Drinks some Coke. Because I'm pretty sure you've never had Coke in your life. That shit would taste disgusting.
I don't think so. I mean, it's just sugary nonsense. If you're not,
but it tastes like sugary bark. We're just used to it.
Yeah. But it's also like, what has he ever had sugar? We don't know if sugar has moved on in his world. Yeah. The books provide no answer to this.
The world has moved on from type 2 diabetes.
Yes. Just straight hepatitis.
All right, so they're enjoying a Coke on a city bus.
Hip.
They cut back to the village again, and the Man in Black shows up, and he's like, hey, Seer, tell me stuff. And she catches him up on the happenings. Back in New York, they talked to that homeless guy from early in the film, which we kind of glossed over. Yeah. Or I glossed over because the whole beginning of the film I didn't feel like talking about.
Yeah.
And that homeless guy, turns out that he was one of the Lost Boys. And he was kicked off of... Oh, God, no, wrong movie. Yeah. That he was one of the people that his brain...
was used to fire a cannon.
Yeah. And now he's homeless. And... why did they talk to you? Was that a plot point or
kind of? Well, they see him and they're like, you know what's up. He's like, yes, I do. And I forget what he leads them to. Because Jake already has all the information he needs. Because they're like, remember this number, this what I don't. Other than to tie him back and be like, oh yeah, no, this has been going on for a while. I feel like he tells him something, but I don't. I fucking checked out.
I'm starting to realize that I liked this movie a lot more when I wasn't paying attention to it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean when I'm saying earlier, like that it's just like this airport book, like where it's just like this, like cool. I just that was breezy, whatever, but it's pretty empty.
Yeah, the more I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is dope. They're like, hey, we got to go back to my mom's house, and he shows up and he sees his dead stepdad. He's like, no. And then he sees the burn mark that used to be his mom, and Roland's like, "Oh, dude, don't look at that. That's like totally your mom." Here's a thing that was weird. Jake freaks out, and Roland calms him down, and he says, "I will kill both of them." Who's the other one?
The Crimson King? I don't know.
Or is it Jackie Earle Haley?
He doesn't know. No one knows Jackie Earle Haley at this point.
So who is he saying both of them?
Some other character they wrote out of the script. I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, I guess you're right.
My guess is the Crimson King. That's the only thing I can think of.
All right. So he says that's where the momentous thing where Roland says the oath for the first time in many years. And he teaches Jake the oath. And they go and what happens? Oh, this is where they go to the gun shop.
Mm-hmm. So they're in the gun shop and they're trying to get armed up, and Idris Elba holds the gun. Takes the gun shop owner at gunpoint and is like, we just need all this stuff. We're taking it. And then the man in black shows up and takes control of the gun shop owner who grabs a shotgun and starts shooting him. Roland's going to shoot him back, and the gun shop owner says, it's not me that's doing it.
Yeah.
Which is a bad way to take control of someone, if you want my opinion about it. So he has the wherewithal to like make him shoot guns. But he can't just be like,
can't make him shut up. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Don't tell him about it. But whatever.
Gunslingers are dicks. Like, that wasn't me. Yeah, so he's shooting, and he locks Jake out, and then the skin people start coming after Jake, and Jake's running, and there's skin people everywhere, and then the man in black says this: everybody you've ever traveled with is dead. Have you told Jake?
Mm-hmm.
Why would he tell Jake? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? It's not like Roland has a history of picking up little boys and hanging out with them until they die. Like,
again, that would make that kind of gets brought up in the books, but that makes sense because you see it happen. You see Roland like turn on people, and because he's obsessed with his quest to enter the Dark Tower. In this, it doesn't like, yeah, you know how I'm murdering everyone that you're with? Why don't you tell Jake that I'm doing that? Why would I just prevent you from, I'm just going to prevent you from doing that. Why would I tell him that, like...
And also it's assumed, like, you're the guy that's doing all the shitty things lately. Like, yeah, if something bad happens near us, Jake's going to go, yeah, it's probably that man in black guy.
Yeah.
They're not going to go, hey, wait a second. Like, 30 years ago, did you have another person you're hanging out with?
Yeah, that's also, it's like the Joker killed that one Robin. If he did nothing but just off Robins all the time, and Batman was not telling new Robins, that's how all the old Robins died, that would be a problem. But so far, we've just seen it happen once.
Yeah. So Jake gets abducted by the van, and I guess it's the same asylum people, whatever, It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's when Jake meets the man in black, and he measures his metachlorine levels, and he says, "You're the full package."
Yep.
Shut up. just shut your dumb face.
Yeah.
That annoyed me. I don't know why. I think it's just because it's Jake Lloyd is the kid that played the kid in episode 1 of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then he's basically doing the metachlorine check, and it just made me think of episode 1.
Well, again, it's that same thing. It's like, you know what? Let's science up this magic because that's fun. Let's take something mystical and like apply a rubric to it and remove all wonder from it.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't know. I can kill you with a word, but I need you to have these certain trioscane levels or whatever to fire this. I don't know. That's just that.
Yeah, that was weird.
That's not a great combo for me.
All right, Man in Black. Roland starts breaking into where the Man in Black has Jake held up. Jake gets dragged to the tower, chair, brain, cannon.
They do it.
Room, and Roland gets there through the portal thing or whatever. He just gets there. Who cares? And he starts killing everybody, reloading stuff. Oh no, we're still in New York at this point. So. Roland's killing everybody, does that reloading thing where he drops all 6 bullets and catches them, which I thought was cool. Blocks the bullets thrown to him, which is kind of neat. Oh, wait, no, sorry, we missed the other dumb thing. Before blocking bullets.
The one other dumb thing.
That scene where he kind of tackles Jackie Earle Haley through the building and gets hit into a bus
Yes.
and then just kind of dusts himself off. Mm-hmm. One, that's terrible CGI.
Yes.
Two, the fuck?
Yeah. No, I just kind of went, all right. Yeah.
Because it's not established that, yeah, he seems strong and he's like, good at shooting, like preternaturally so.
Right.
But it's not established that you can fall through a building, then get hit by a moving bus, and then continue fighting without a fucking beat.
Well, yeah, because then it's also like, oh, well, then you're not in any danger from anything because you just got hit by a bus. So why do I care? There's no drama in whatever's happening.
That was so weird. Like, it was like, very odd. Okay. He fights his way, blah, blah, blah. He gets, so it's like MIB versus Roland, finally. Mm-hmm. And this is where he starts blocking bullets.
Yeah, now, because they're having this, the Man in Black is just shooting magic at him.
Man in Black, I was thinking Michael Ian Black.
Yeah, same guy.
This is an entire different movie.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Just the Man in Black is less of an asshole. No, but he's shooting magic at him, and Roland's ducking out of the way, and then Roland starts shooting at him. And as I referenced earlier, Man in Black is just casually just plucking these bullets out of the air and saving them in his hand.
Well, no. First, he starts floating rocks to block the bullets. Yeah.
And then he starts catching them.
Which I thought that was one of the things you were going to find dumb, because boy, that was dumb.
Yeah. But at this point in the movie, yes, everything is dumb.
Yeah, but we have to point it out. It's our jobs, John.
This
is what we do for a living.
Wait, we're getting money for this?
Well, I mean, jobs in a really, what I like to call completely wrong usage of the word.
All right. But yeah, he's plucking bullets out of the air and saving them, and he's like just flicking them back at Roland, like the way, like in an annoying fashion, like the way he would just like, I don't know. But I thought that was very funny.
And Roland's blocking them with his gun.
Yeah, like if he was like doing back to gun kata, like some like I'm swiping my gun and like knocking them out, but it's just like little like lame T-Rex arm where he's like, just holds the gun up to block it.
Yeah,
which realistically, and I'm using that word very loosely, that would be how much you could do in the time to react or whatever. To do this dumb thing of blocking, but it just it didn't look powerful or interesting. It just seemed kind of like
pretty lame. Yeah. So while this is happening, this is where we're supposed to feel emotionally invested. And Jake starts reciting the Gunslinger Creed, and Idris Elba starts reciting the Gunslinger. God damn it! I went the whole show without calling him his actor name.
Yeah.
God damn! I was so good. I memorized their name.
Almost.
Anyway.
Next time.
All right. So Luther starts reciting. Sorry. Heimdall starts reciting
Stringer Bell.
He starts reciting the Gunslinger Creed. And we're like, this is... And he realizes that this is the only way to stop the Man in Black. And would you like to describe it, John?
Not at all. No, Go for it.
So he realizes that he can shoot a bullet and then ricochet a bullet off another bullet.
Yep.
And that'll kill the Man in Black.
Yeah.
And he does. And he shoots the Man in Black in the head and he dies.
Well, not in the head, but later. Yeah.
Well, first he hits him in the heart, and he's like, "Whoa, fuck, you hit me!" And then since he's hitting the heart, he just starts wailing him with bullets. Takes one in the head. He is dead. And it's like, "Whoa, this is great." Takes Jake out of the brain cannon chair, shoots the chair. Chair explodes. Aztec Temple laser death thing explodes. Wonderful. They've won. They eat hot dogs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they make a joke about eating dogs and how that's savage.
Yes.
Nope. You can't do that.
Yes, absolutely. You can.
No, you can't. Here's the thing. No. He lives in a fucking post-apocalyptic wasteland that he's got radiation sickness. He is 100% gonna eat a dog. What did you see fucking cows in that world?
No, but you didn't see dogs either.
Oh, bullshit. But but he was aware of dogs because he said it was savage to eat them.
Yeah.
Obviously, he could be eating a dog before. But bullshit. Nonsense. That's the least believable thing in this movie.
I don't know. I just kind of... I rolled with it, but I see your point. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't think there was maybe everyone's a vegetarian in this world that's moved on. There's a lot of questions that they don't bother to.
Well, that's probably what's in the sequels. A lot of their eating habits and then how they feel about their HIPAA forms.
Yes.
Okay. So then Roland goes, "I have to leave." Why? The quest is over. Why?
Yeah.
Why don't you live in a world with medicine and like good things?
I don't know. It's not the world he knows. You can't really I'm good at shooting people. That's not really a good skill to have.
Yeah, they have shooting competitions here. He could fucking clean up.
Yeah, true. But there's the whole he's got to have like a whole but no background. He's got no passport. He's gonna get deported.
Oh yeah, that's true. Would make America great again. Deport him.
That's true. But yeah, it's just not the world he knows, and
Yeah.
he's pledged to protect the tower, so he's going to go back and do that.
All
I
right.
guess.
So he says, "Come with me," and Jake's like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, you don't." And he goes, "You don't have anything left here."
Yeah, like, remember how your parents are dead,
Yeah,
dummy?
wow, thanks for the fucking delicateness. What about his friend that lived in the building with him? What about
Yeah.
anybody? Yeah, fuck you, dude. Don't you have aunts? Like, what?
He never met those guys. Fuck those. Yeah. It's-
Okay. Then they walk away, and here's maybe this is a reference to something. They walk by the Globe Theater. That's not the reference. It's Shakespeare. Fine.
Right, yeah.
The Globe Theater. Then on the marquee of the Globe Theater, it says Spaghetti Week at the Majestic.
Yes.
It's the Globe Theater.
Yeah.
Well, why are they advertising a different theater doing a Spaghetti Western Week?
Oh, it's Spaghetti West. I thought you
assume.
was spaghetti. I was.
What, okay, but why would that be on a billboard in front of a movie theater?
I don't know.
Or
Why are
in
you?
front of a marquee?
I did not even see it. I think I was just excited the movie was over.
Yeah.
Like, does it really make a point to be like?
No, it's
and
right.
then-
It's dead center of the frame, dead center top of the frame. It's a Spaghetti Week at the Majestic. After they walked by the name of the theater being the Globe.
Maybe that was the play being performed.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah,
The
maybe.
classic play.
Well,
Spaghetti Week at
the reason I brought it's just it was so in the middle of the frame that it's like they meant you to read it that I thought maybe this was a not very cleverly hidden Stephen King reference. Like that's
If
like
it is,
some
I don't
dumb
know.
joke from-
I was just looking for the remote to turn it off. I think at this point, I'm like, okay, cool, it's over.
Yeah. I mean, I could have looked that up, but frankly, I didn't want to.
I don't-
As much as I claimed to like this movie, even by the end of it, this is the first time I've changed my opinion over the course of an episode.
Like, what are you
started
going to
liking
get
this.
out of knowing that? Like, oh, now this movie's good.
No, but I kind of like those kind of dumb Easter eggy
Sure.
things.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
find like there's all kinds of references to other Stephen King movies in there. But if that's one, I don't know. There's one, The Happy Face, is a reference to some like crime novel he did or something.
Oh, really?
That I was like, oh, okay.
Does it have a single drop of blood on it? Because that'd be weird. Because Jackie Earle Haley's in this, and
That
that's
would
from
be
the
weird,
Watchmen.
but no.
Who watches the Watchmen? The answer: Dudley from Dreamcatcher.
Yes. Oh god.
I hope that's his name because that's the greatest pull I've ever come up with in the
Yeah.
history of either podcast I've done.
Yeah. So you can't fault a Stephen King movie for not being true to the book because some of the better ones aren't. I mean, obviously, The Shining comes to mind.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, some of the ones that are very true to it are not good. The TV version of The Shining comes to mind. But this kind of just went off the reservation in terms of what the books had, what the books offered, and kind of went like, oh, okay, we can just take this, and these kind of themes. Let's just distill them down to make this just forgettable action movie.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess you win this episode because I went really kind of liking this. Now
It's not because it's not a movie worth thinking about. If you're on a plane and it's there, kill some time, kill an hour and a half. It's not good, but it will absolutely kill some time, and it just don't think about it all. Just enjoy Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey because that's about all this movie has to offer.
I agree with that one.
All right, so I suffered through this. I've suffered through Bright. It's time to get to some real cinema. We're going to get a little arty on the next one. We're going to go a little highbrow with an Oscar-nominated film from this year's Oscar, Boss Baby.
Exactly.
The number one film about capitalist babies.
L'Exécutif Enfant was the original.
That's
That
the
was
original.
remade.
So this is going to be interesting how true this stays to that, how much it forges its own path.
I mean, I think it sounds like a fine thing to do. I've not watched the film yet, but I expect to have my notions of self questioned, and frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if I had a bit of a panic attack just from the depth and the grit that we're going to get to watching Boss Baby.
I'm ready to laugh. I'm ready to cry. And I'm ready to learn about love all over again.
Yeah.
Because of Boss Baby.
I'm ready to watch an animated baby probably make poop jokes.
Here's hoping.
All right. So if you like the show, subscribe to things, leave reviews. More importantly, tell your friends. Post things on Facebook because Facebook's algorithm basically, if we post things, it doesn't show anybody and it's stupid.
Yep, just shows each other.
Yes. Okay. So that's it. See you next episode. Stop breathing.